Hello, and we're here with another episode of my series about the Beatles. And today we are going to be going over a Pete Best concert that I just went to, and I'm going to be reviewing the full experience, the songs he played, and everything else about the experience. So, this was a few days ago in Hudson Falls. I don't live there. Hudson Falls, New York. I live a little bit away from there. And a Pete Best concert. So he was in the back on the drums. There were two drummers, Pete Best and his brother, Rogue Best, Neil Aspinall's son, the Beatles roadie. And as we all know, when Pete was about 21, right after their Hamburg visit, Pete was kicked out of the band and replaced by Ringo Starr. And since then, Pete hasn't talked to any of the Beatles. He never talked to John, Paul, George, or Ringo at all after the breakup. Now, yes, Pete Best did make a little money, a few million they think, they don't know exactly, on Anthology 1 when it came out in 1995. But other than that, he has made little to no royalties on Beatles songs. So he has kind of held something against the other Beatles throughout his life, but Paul did give him some royalties on Anthology 1. Overall, at this concert, he's starting, along with all the other older musicians, he's starting to just realize that, time went by, there's nothing more he can do about it, and they were playing Beatles songs. They were playing early Beatles songs, Beatles covers, and other Chuck Berry, Little Richard, stuff from the late 50s, early 60s. I don't think they really went past 1963. They only played 3 or 4 Beatles originals, and then they played a few the Beatles covered, an instrumental or two, and then some other 50s rock hits. They played the instrumental Cry for a Shadow. They played John Lennon's first ever song he wrote, Hello Little Girl. They did, the one big kind of hit that they did was I Saw Her Standing There. They did P.S. I Love You, a few little things like that. They did Rock and Roll Music, Chuck Berry. They did Long Tall Sally, a few Little Richard songs, Lucille, and a few of those. So Pete Best and Rogue Best, who is 20 years younger than Pete, Neil Aspinall's son, both were drummers with 3 frontmen, one of them who was the main singer, and then 2 who were backing and took a few songs themselves. Now, overall, they were a really good, clean band. Pete Best, he's not the best drummer in the world, which was proven, especially by going there, but he is able to get along as a concert session drummer. He did just fine. And he is 83 years old, 82, 83 years old. So he was a little hunched over walking around the stage when he did come up front to give a little kind of speech at the beginning of the show. And you could see he is getting tired and age is starting to hit him. Not terrible though, but he is starting to feel the effects of age. So now here's the real big news of the concert. And then after I go over this, I will play a bunch of footage I took. Not the best quality, but about 3 or 4 minutes of footage of the concert for you guys to watch. But first, the big piece of news here was that the concert I went to was possibly the last official concert or tour part Pete Best would ever do. The day after this concert, which was 3 or 4 days ago, they all took a trip to Bermuda or Jamaica, went down Bermuda to Jamaica, and then they went to Florida and played on a cruise ship the day after. But this might have been the last official concert that Pete Best performed. After this, they're going back to England, and it's doubtful if Pete Best will ever plan another United States tour or even any tour. And I do think he will still perform a little bit. Obviously, do some local stuff around the Casbah, which he is still a Liverpool celebrity. So it all works out there. But whether or not he even comes back to the States in his anywhere from like 5 to 10 years left of life, we do not know if he comes back to the States. So this might be their last tour ever. And they made an announcement of that before their last song. So the last song they played, very fitting, was Twist and Shout. Got the whole place up, standing up to sing Twist and Shout. And then they ended up doing one more kind of encore song, Kansas City, Hey, 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 which is actually one of my favorite Beatles covers ever. So that was a perfect ending. So now, after the concert, I got lucky I was first in line, but for the Pete Best signing, he did a little signing after. And the items there, the posters and stuff that you had to buy were like $60, but because of my age and stuff, they did let me bring and sign what I brought. So this shirt, the John Stu, Paul George Pete, you can see he signed next to his name at the bottom, Pete Best. And this is the original Corey, not the original, but one of the later Quarrymen early Beatles lineups. That's the lineup that went to Hamburg before Stu died shortly after. So next, I did buy this just to bring there. It wasn't as expensive as the ones there, but it was still a $30 photo. It is a very nice photo. And you could see the signature right there above Pete Best himself. Left to right, it's Pete Best, George Harrison, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Stuart Sutcliffe. You see Pete with his little drum there. So Pete, was very nice. Just a very good person who happened to be one step away and miss the greatest thing to ever happen to music and the world. One of the greatest things to happen to the world. And when you think about it, anything that Pete Best would have done or gone through that might seem a little irrational, anyone would have done it in his spot. He was kicked out of the Beatles right before they hit big.
If you want to dance with me, watch the back. And when she's on the top of me, I'm thinking think I'm a rockin' man. My name is if you want to dance with me, if you want to dance with me, cha-cha-cha.
Thank you, Robin. Welcome to the Sunday afternoon with the Pete Best Band.
So tell me what I say. Tell me what I say. Tell me what I say. Tell me what I say now. Tell me what I say. Tell me what I say now. Show you girl. Says I know more now than I know now. Baby wants to go with a baby on my baby knee. Said all is moving around with me. Said move over once, move over twice. Come on, baby, don't need to be twice. Said driving on the one out and I know. Hudson Falls. Thanks, man.
Is there a falls in Hudson Falls?
Yes, we want to know is there a falls, like a waterfall? Could we have our swimming trunks for this? Well, hey, we're going in. We're from Liverpool, love. We're not afraid of a little bit of ice. The world is treating me bad, misery.
Folks! Thank you for coming out on a Sunday afternoon. Well, it's a bit party outside, isn't it? A bit party, as it sounds like. So, without further ado, looking around the audience, we'll see if there's some familiar faces. Oh, you and you another. Oh, Big Santora, Linda, Carmen, Terry, sure. Oh, Dennis and Julie from Canada. Why it goes on and on and on? You lot at the back there. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to take you back to the days of playing with four guys. Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Stu Sutcliffe. Remember them all, huh? And we're going to take you back to 60, 61, 62, possibly 63 and 64. We haven't made our minds up yet. So, we're going to play music from Liverpool, Hamburg, Decca, Polydor. Just want to play you good music. Oh, we're from Liverpool. I'm a shy from Liverpool. Will you please help us? You will? Okay, very simple. All I want you to do. And it goes on again.